In a recent interview, Lando Norris has come out and said previously that he'd been in talks with Red Bull to move to their team. And with him finishing the best of the rest this season in a car that really shouldn't have been there, he's the hottest ticket in town. So this poses the question, is Lando Norris planning a move onto Red Bull? Back all the way in 2019, Lando Norris joined McLaren and partnered with Carlos Sainz, ready to take on the year after a hard few seasons for McLaren. These two gelled immediately on and off the track and brought McLaren closer to that former glory of 4th in the championship, with Carlos Sainz outscoring Lando 96 to 49. 2020 came around and a bit of a weird year for Formula 1 and the rest of the world. With a shortened calendar, Lando had less chances to demonstrate his talents to the team. However, he did not disappoint and gained his first podium finish in F1, with Austria and McLaren securing another 4th in the Constructors. In 2021, off went Sainz to Ferrari and in came the great Daniel Ricciardo. Also, we all hoped. With all the experience Daniel carried, McLaren was hoping to take their team higher up the Constructors as their new lead driver. However, this didn't quite happen. Over the course of the season, Lando would consistently outscore Ricciardo by 2 positions, securing him more points than the experienced driver. Moving into 2022, while Lando's confidence grew, Daniel's sadly did not. The problems just seemed to keep getting worse and worse for Daniel, with him now consistently finishing outside the points each week. To make matters worse, Lando was putting in brilliant performances week after week with the exact same car that should not have been that high up the grid. Lando finished the season with 122 points to Daniel's mere 37 in the exact same machinery, putting him best of the rest and the driver all teams should have their eye on. With all of Lando's incredible efforts, the team dropped a place, moving backwards down to 5th in the Constructors. This does make you wonder, is it time for Lando to move on to a better team? In a recent interview, Lando stated there has been talks between him and Red Bull. This was around the time when he signed his long-term contract with McLaren to 2025. But with Sergio Perez's contract coming to an end in 2024, Red Bull will be looking for other options. So, what does that leave them with? Well, Perez doesn't look like a likely candidate, with him not being anywhere near Max's level. With Max gaining 9 poles and 15 wins to Sergio's 1 pole and 2 wins, he's just competing in a completely different league, and Red Bull want to gain that second driver that will compete for wins week in and week out to gain that P1 and 2 in the Constructors they're aiming for. Daniel Ricciardo has recently signed as a reserve driver for the team and is hoping to swoop in 2024 to replace Perez. However, I don't think this will happen either. To put it frankly, Daniel is not the future of Red Bull. Although he's raced for them before, and I'm sure Verstappen would love to have him back as a teammate, it just isn't realistic for the team. Especially compared to Lando in the last 2 seasons, he's been outperforming him week after week in the same car. Also, Daniel is currently 33 compared to Lando, who's only 23. Although in this age of Formula 1, you do get drivers driving all the way into their 40s. I'm looking at you, Alonso. There is just so much more potential with Lando that Red Bull will want to capture. So, should Zach Brown be scared? A little. With the team seemingly to have moved backwards this year, this doesn't push Lando towards that maiden victory he deserves. When asked about Lando's potential departure, Zach simply responded, "No, because I'm convinced we're going to give him a winning car." Lando still states he has faith in McLaren, but for how long can that last when McLaren have seasons like 2022? It wouldn't be a surprise after this year's silly season if Lando's long-term contract gets bought out for 2024 if McLaren don't perform this year. This quote from the Sky Sports commentator Karim Shandhok also agreed that he thinks that Red Bull should be going hard to try buy Lando Norris. Whatever ends up happening in 2024, being teammates with Verstappen is no easy challenge, as we've seen from the likes of Gasly, Albon and now Perez. The team tend to focus the car around him, which puts the second driver a bit on the sidelines. But if Lando wants that race win, is it a challenge he's willing to accept? Where do you think Lando Norris should end up? Subscribe and let us know down in the comments below.